Aloha. This is Emily Thoreau Threat, host of the Grief and Happiness podcast. Every Friday, I share with you my love notes, giving you a little something to think about as you navigate through your grief journey, finding happiness expanding along your way. And every Tuesday, I post my regular podcast sharing wonderful conversations with people you can relate to and who offer you encouraging ideas and helpful inspiration. I'm so grateful you're joining me and look forward to hearing from you, your thoughts. Aloha. My podcast for you today is New Year, New You. My sister came home from rehearsal at the Barn Theater for A Christmas Carol, frustrated a week before the show was scheduled to open. The little boy playing the part of Tiny Tim's big brother had dropped out of the show and always wanted to come to the rescue. She suggested to the director that I could play the part. I was about the same size as the little boy, so the costume would fit, and she could bring me to the theater every night. So I was cast in my first play when I was in third grade. Little did I know at that time that this was the beginning of my love for theater and the arts for my lifetime. I felt at home on the stage and was fascinated by all aspects of production. Fast forward 50-something years, and I was standing in my theater in School of Arts. I'd created it in a beautiful 100-year-old building in downtown Bakersfield. I had a lifetime of experience in every aspect of theater and was ready to use it all. Our first show was of our summer children's workshop production of Annie. The packed house and the thrilled children pouring their hearts out on the stage showed me that my dreams had come true. But Spotlight Theater was more than a dream. It was an intention I set before I even knew what setting intentions was all about. Looking back on my life now, I see that I've been setting intentions all along and seeing them come into being. Once I was committed to something in my heart, it would eventually come into being, sometimes many years later. And whenever I dreamed, always turned out to be so much more than I'd imagined. When my husband Ron taught me about the principle of setting intentions, I realized that I was a master at it already. But discovering how it worked, I was thrilled to set my intentions now intentionally. I heard the old adage, be careful what you wish for, and I turned that around for me to carefully intend what I desired. In writing my book, Loving and Living Your Way Through Grief, I started out with the intention of helping my friend Lori with the sudden death of her husband, Chappie. Helping her was my intention, not knowing where it would lead me. I started by writing her a letter, and then I decided to write her a note every week for the first year. And when I'd written the content for all the notes I would send, I realized that the notes made an outline for a book. Though I'd written college textbooks before, I was in new territory now, and I knew I needed help. That's when I discovered my amazing agent, Mariflor, who held my hand through the process to write the book and find a perfect publisher. And now my book launched in January 2021. As this new year starts, what is it that you would like to love to be? There are no limits. Take some time to write a list of what you crave, what you would love to do, what you're ready to have. Out of all you write down, what do you desire the most? Write it as clearly as you can imagine, and then know that it's already happening. Put what you want right where you can see it every day and believe that it's true. Then watch what happens. Intentionally intend your best life. When did my writing career actually start? Many years ago. I sat in a college writing class listening to the instructor share about how his editor had taken him to the best restaurant in town the night before to celebrate the signing of the contract for his new book. At that moment, I said, I'd do that one day too. And I did. Though my first book came out many years later, a fond memory I have was my editor from Prentice Hall taking me out to eat at the Oak Room in the Plaza Hotel in Manhattan, overlooking Central Park. Sitting there, I reflected on that day in my writing class year before that I knew I was going to be an author. You can intend anything you would like to do or have. Have a great new year. Do you want more comfort, support, and happiness? Join the Grief and Happiness Alliance. Visit my website at lovingandlivingyourwaythroughgrief.com and read my book, Loving and Living Your Way Through Grief. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast, rate it, review it, and binge on all our episodes on grief and happiness. I can't wait to welcome you back to another episode